Hello and welcome to this short video about our online learning packages.
Last time,
I'll just turn the sound down so you can hear me over the audio track. The player itself has a number of features that your learners will find useful. This button here allows them to pause the presentations at any point. Clicking again will start it back up. Here we have the replay button, which allows the user to start any particular slide from the beginning, in case they've been distracted or want to go over the material again. At the top here we have the Resources tab. This opens up a drop-down list of useful links to websites that your learners will find useful if they want to find out more on any particular subject. There are also links to PDF versions of some documents, for example research stats. Specific links can be added for a company, their policies, procedures, etc. into this menu if you so wish. Over here on the left is the glossary. This can be used to look up definitions of specific terms used during the presentations. All terms are explained as we go through, so this is really here for learners to refresh their memory, particularly if there's a bit of a gap between them using the different presentations. The player can be customised to fit with your company branding guidelines if you wish, so that presentations fit in with any other online training that you make available. This is one of the slides that we use to build a relationship with the learners. We've covered all of the material in the online presentations face-to-face with people working in the construction industry, so we know what the most common responses are from our audience. In this example, Chrissy, in cartoon form, asks the learners what they think of the subject, and then gives a response based on the answer they give. With a subject like equality, we're often dealing with people's perceptions, so showing them that we understand where they're coming from rather than being preachy helps to get them on side. This is an example of one of our activities. People learn in a number of different ways. The most common way of categorising this is to group people into visual, audio or kinesthetic learners. For this reason we make sure that we have good visual content with easy to remember icons or graphics rather than just text. We also incorporate audio on every slide, and if there is any text, an audio track will play when the mouse is hovered over the text. This not only helps for those with an audio learning style, but also for those who have poor sight or difficulty reading. For instance, current research suggests that 1 in 10 people working in the trades is illiterate. We also use activities like this where the learner discovers the answer by trying things out for themselves. This is the best method for those with a kinesthetic learning style. This style is very common amongst those who work in science, technology and crafts. With any task like this, except in the tests, the feedback is instant. This helps to enforce the learning point from an activity. Here we have another of our activities. Again, we use a strong visual element and learner interaction to lead them through a story, which makes the point we want to get across. Again, there is an audio track that runs alongside. We often use statistics when they're relevant. This helps to underline that the content of our presentations is based on research. People can have misconceptions when they think about diversity, and one of the best ways to dispel those is with up-to-date data. We review all of our stats regularly to keep them current, and when possible use those gathered about the construction industry to make them even more relevant to the audience. One of the features that we've included is the ability to capture information on the opinion of your staff. This information can be shared with your company and benchmarked against the average responses we gain from all learners. We take the protection of your data and that of your staff very seriously. The learners have the option to opt out of having their answers included in any research we put together. This doesn't apply to us sharing the test results with you, obviously. The answers from your learners to these research questions will never be used with their name attached to it. We find people are more comfortable giving honest responses when they are anonymous. In this slide we're telling the story of a real-life legal case from the construction industry. This helps to keep the subject relevant to the learners by framing it in an environment that they are familiar with. At the end, the learners get to try and work out what the court's decision was. This gives them the chance to use the knowledge that they have gained and reinforces the content of the course. At the end of each presentation we summarise the content to further embed what has been learned. We also give the user instructions on where to move on to next. These next few slides are all taken from our tests. We use a number of different testing methods to make sure that people with all learning styles can demonstrate their ability. Again, we make sure that the ability to read is not necessary to answer the test. This is an example of a drag and drop question. The user clicks on the objects and simply drags them to the correct place. Another testing method is for the learner to simply click on the right answer. The questions cover a range of ability levels. This allows the lower achievers to pass if they put in the work to understand the content, and also lets those with higher ability challenge themselves. The pass mark is set at 70%. We currently have 2 courses available. Both are broken up into short sections to fit more easily around the working day. The first course is Introduction to Equality and Diversity in the UK Construction Industry. This course is an hour long in total with an optional test afterwards. The course is ideal for companies who wish to give their staff a basic grounding in the subject. In this course we look at protected characteristics, discrimination, harassment and victimisation. We also look at the business benefits of equality and diversity, how equality and diversity can help with procurement, and the individual benefits for anybody working in a company with good initiatives around fairness, inclusion and respect. It also rounds off with a section on banter and workplace language, establishing guidelines to avoid conflict, and how any individual can improve their workplace. The second course is Foundation Equality and Diversity in the UK Construction Industry. This course is 3 hours long and is broken into 3 units containing 3 15-minute presentations and a 15-minute test. This course is designed for companies who want to go beyond the basics and get their staff on side with fairness, inclusion and respect. In the first unit of this course we look at the protected characteristics and how they apply in the UK construction industry. We also look at discrimination, harassment and victimisation. We also expand into other areas such as the public sector equality duties and how they apply to companies working for public sector clients. In the second unit we look at the current challenges facing the UK construction industry. We also look at the business reasons for equality and diversity and explore why these things are also good for individuals, communities and the nation in general. In the third and final unit we look at banter, the changing nature of language, and how individuals can change and adapt their behaviour to improve their workplace and gain personal benefit, as well as benefit for their company. We avoid using political correctness as part of this, and instead focus on practical, easy, everyday tips. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Hopefully it will have answered many of your questions about our online learning. If you want to find out more or wish to enrol your staff as learners, then you can contact us by phoning on 0151 706 8132 or by emailing patrick@constructingequality.co.uk.